Hello and welcome to Mad Goes Racing, and we're back in rFactor 2 having a look at the first of four. I'll try and get my brain in gear. The first two of four circuits that were in the Q4 2022 content drop. Those that I'm going to look at now are the two British circuits, which are Croft and Thruxton. Now, these are both laser scanned, as in fact all four apparently are. So it'll be interesting to see just how rough or smooth it may be. So I think we'll stick with the old BTCC BMW. Let's have a search for Croft. Where are you, Lara? I'll see if you can spell, or type, or both. So, it's another of the typically British circuits based on a old airfield. It doesn't look like it for the very simple fact it has been modified quite a bit over the years. I believe it was using most of the perimeter track or some of the perimeter track originally. But what they did was it used to come from what's effectively the back straight with a wiggle in the middle of it, straight across to where it's currently orange. So across the sort of right hand side there, and it was more of a triangle shape. It still had to the is that the Jim Clark SS down the back, and then sort of where it sort of loops around on the top there, it just went around a right hander and across. That was back in the 60s through the 80s, was it? And it was in the late 90s it changed to this layout. Sort of there was a bit of a hiatus for a while, and it was actually used mostly for rallycross, if I remember rightly. But they changed it to effectively make it longer to try and attract the BTCC, which they managed to do in the end. Excuse the slow load times. I recently restarted my computer after an update, and it seems to take forever to hack its way through my hard drive looking for shit for the Windows Store for some bizarre reason. Why it can't just leave the pissing thing alone, I don't know. Dear Microsoft, please give me the option to tell that thing to fuck off and leave my hard drive alone. Thank you. That's the trouble. As soon as you got anything from the bloody Windows Store, it's, oh yeah, I'm going to search your computer every time I reboot. But yes, the circuit's definitely changed a bit over the years. It also used to have sort of the bit that's now sort of mustard coloured. I think that was there. It sort of went like round a bit further out and sort of like a big lobe. We'll do a slow lap, and then we'll try a not so slow lap, hopefully. Now, have I actually got a button set up to change the bloody camera? I suspect. Oh shit. I think that'll do. Which bloody numbers there? That one. Get rid of that. And not that. I think we can get rid of that. No, should we? No, we'll leave it. Sorry. You want to see how quick or slow I am, won't you? Right. Now the straight here is actually one of the old the actual runways. So all of this is built on what was once a runway. Like I said, the original track was actually part of Perimeter Road. So effectively this is sort of like, I believe both the sort of this sort of start finish straight and the sort of bit across the back there were both on the straight, so they're like on the runway. That's the word I'm looking for. So that's how bloody wide it was. Enormous. Right. Quite a tricky circuit. It's I mean, it looks like there's lots of runoff, but there's just lots of places to screw up your lap. Basically, this is a sort of interesting, like, I can't remember how many apexes it's got. I can't remember the last thing I actually drove this in. It might have even been Tocker, one of the Tocker series, but there's this horrible little chicane here, which, if you get it wrong, if you hit that tyre stack, it is absolutely solid and your car will go everywhere. So don't hit it. This originally was actually the start-finish straight, so it actually had, I believe, that on the right there is actually where the pits were. So yes, it has changed quite a bit. You're going to actually, if I remember rightly, I'll put a link to the racingcircuits.info. I'm almost sure that it used to be like more of that side that you could use, but I think it's just Tower Bend we're coming up to. Interesting approach, because there's like a little kink just before you get to it, so you're basically got to be making sure that you've got your car nice and straight before you hit the brakes. Just trying to think, how fast would you say this corner is? It's got quite a nice combination between quite fast and quite slow corners, so, and it's got some really tricky little corners. So this is again, you'll notice there's a bit more tarmac on the outside than you can where the white line is, so I think that's fairly much flat as far as camera's concerned, so there's no sort of positive or negative camber, so hopefully you won't get screwed up too much by it. Oh, this is still being thrashed. Hopefully it doesn't bugger up the recording. But it's a nice tree-lined avenue. And again, you'll see there's a load of, I think this is a Jim Clark chicane. Very quick chicane. Don't hit those. You don't want to do that. But this, the right-hander, there is a little bit of runoff on the outside should you decide to go a little bit silly, but once you're the other side of the white line, you're obviously off track, and I'm not sure how slippery that is compared with the rest of the circuit. It's also quite lumpy out there, so probably don't want to go there. Then there's a very quick right sort of down the back straight. You probably could, if you want to be a bit naughty, and grab a bit of extra off the left hand side there. But this is again very quick, but the exit here, there's no room for error, so if you get on the grass here, you are going to be in that barrier over there, and then you want to be braking somewhere for this rather weird sort of double triple apex corner that's coming up. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3, but it's sort of like there, and then you can go out here somewhere. That's where the circuit used to go. That's what was the back straight. Second apex, and I think there's a third apex. Is there a third apex? I can't remember. No, it's only 2, isn't it? It sort of looks like it might be 3, but it's actually 2. And then onto one of the bits of straight, which is probably nowhere near as long as it looks initially, because we're going quite slowly. And into like the, what I'd say is probably the tricky tight section. We've got left, and then I think it's left right. Like I said, it's so long since I've been around here. And this is quite tight. And then I think after this is where we end up going into a rather tricky little, so yes, double right, and then this, which is the hairpin on the start finish straight. And again, my machine decided to have a bit of a hiccup there. And on the start finish straight, if you want to go in the pits, obviously you'll have to nip in there. So it's not a particularly long circuit, it's 2.1 miles I think it is, and it's got a fairly interesting combination of fast and slow corners, and we'll see if we can do a reasonable lap without killing ourselves. Never sure how tight to take that and then come out here somewhere and come left, and then it's a bit of a nasty change to the camber through there. So you can, I tried it in a front wheel drive car and it was like, not enjoying that. I think I was getting the line a bit wrong anyway, so oops, tyres are a bit cold still. But this chicane is definitely a bit spookily fast if you're not careful. I don't know how fast you can get around there. Like I said, you don't want to be overdoing it there. Oh, too late, too late, too late, too late, too late on the brakes. That's where the circuit used to go. I was just going to demonstrate that, so let's try and get back on track. Well, I think this might be invalid, this lap. Again, trying to spot braking points. There are some sort of little markers in the sort of edge of the grass over there, but how useful they are, I don't know. But like I said, this is actually double apex, and I keep forgetting it's double apex, so I keep thinking I should be getting out of there sooner. You will get out of that corner and probably end up being slightly crossed up as you're trying to get into the braking point, so you might find yourself unloading things and getting in a bit of a nasty mess. As you can imagine, it's a bit tight and getting past other cars, and actually racing around here might be quite difficult. Again, that's quite a quick chicane actually, as long as you get the right line through it. If you don't get the right line, it's a very tricky chicane that will probably kill you. Bit of a nasty bump just in the braking zone here, so again, back end step out. Don't think we carry any more speed through here or not. And I think trying to work out where to brake for that is quite difficult. And again, this is like, there is a bit of camber there to help you around that one. So note the little markers in the field there. I don't know if they're any help at all or not, but whoops, a bit wide. But yeah, an interesting circuit. Quite how difficult it's going to be to race on compared with just driving around. I don't know, but it's a fun little circuit. I wouldn't try anything too damn quick around here, and something like a classic mini maybe would be fun around here. See if we can carry a little bit more speed through here. A bit more. See if we can get this a bit better. I'll use a bit more width on the exit to try and stop the back end stepping out. That was much better. Whoops. Don't get on the grass. Don't get on the grass. Well, I think that proves the point. Yeah, it's quite quite a definite case of when you lose it around here, you will lose it big time probably. So yes, don't do that. It also means, of course, that there ain't a lot of room for error around here. I think that's true of both the British circuits we're going to be looking at, and that when you make a mistake, it's quite detrimental to your health, shall we say, of your car. But yeah, an interesting circuit. Like I said, I think the last time, was it the last time I played it was Tucker? Or did I actually play it in a racing motorcycle game? I might have done actually. There might have been a version of Croft for GP bikes. But yeah, nice circuit, another nice addition. I'll put the external replay on in a corner so you can watch me making a complete and utter tit of myself. I'm not sure what sort of lap. I think the lap record's something like 1 minute 13 in an F3 car, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I might be right, or I might not. I seem to recall it was somebody rather who went on quite well into like Formula, who was responsible for that particular lap time. Might have been in the British F3 race or something, or I might just be talking total bollocks. Not that makes any change, does it? Right, I did actually have a another version of Thruxton on my machine as well, so I did a bit of a comparison earlier and went, definitely difference in terms of like track and undulations and camber and everything. So Thruxton again, another airfield perimeter track. As you might notice, there isn't actually a straight on the circuit at all, really. Even the sort of back straight isn't really straight at all. It's one of those. Once you get the hang of it, it's not hugely complicated, but it is one of those you really have to sort of hang on for dear life at times to make sure you get around it safely. So let's have a slow look round initially, and then did I forget to change back to this view when I was? Did I actually do some laps in this view? I can't remember now. Come on, light, change colour. Now I have actually been around Thruxton in real life. I haven't been around Croft. I have been around Thruxton. I've also played in probably Tocker as well. Not the race driver or whichever one it was. I had 2 or 3, I think, of the Tocker series. But like I said, the most obvious thing about it is there aren't any straights. So it's a little bit up and down. Not hugely. It's reasonably flat. I mean, there's a bit of an uphill on the back straight. I use the term straight loosely, of course, but also these markers are they look a hell of a long distance apart. So that's 300. This is 200. I'm almost like, well, shouldn't that be 100? But whatever it says, this is like the first of the. I think it's actually called a complex as such. Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave, named after 3 land speed record holders. It's right, left, right flick, and then onto the bit where you just start praying that you can actually work out where you are. There's a bit of room to run off on the right as you come out of the last part of that. In fact, you should probably be quite well over to the right by this to try and spot the apex on this next slight right kink, which goes immediately, because it's one of these, it's like very difficult to work out where you are. There's this little bit here, and then you should be coming into a sort of a bit of a double apex left. It's sort of like almost 2 apexes, but not particularly well defined. And then you probably want to move a little bit left, but not too much. And then the next bit is really where about all you can do is a few laps and try and work out where the hell you are, because like this is ridiculously quick. And somewhere around here is an apex, which is basically near where this marshal post is, which you want to be clipping, but you'll be finding yourself getting slung out. And I'm pretty sure this is because it's going slightly over a brow, and it might even be slightly off camber. You can end up going over here a bit too far, and if you go off here, you'll be doing 120, 130 miles an hour. And the next stop is that barrier right over there, because the grass, no, it won't slow you down a lot. But you carry on, just it's right. This is almost straight, this bit, I have to say. And you want to be moving well over to the left here, and just through this little dip is probably where you want to sort of turn in and aim for the where the tarmac is on the right hand side there, again where the marshal's post is. for this, again, 130-ish mile an hour in a BTCC car. Try and just clip the apex, because you will end up, again, if you get this wrong, you'll be ending up on the grass. There's not a lot of room for error, and when you have an accident at Thruxton, it is fucking huge, guaranteed. Up the back straight, again, straight, used loosely. It goes into, again, like a double chicane, so it's right, left, right, onto the start finish straight. And spotting the braking points, they're sort of hidden behind the first one, or the one you want to be looking for is sort of hidden behind some signs up here somewhere. And because you're still going slightly uphill, you can probably brake a little later than you think. And again, it's sort of like 200 marker, and then you probably want to be braking around about here somewhere, and you probably want to stay a bit right and just start to follow it in, and then turn in what seems a little bit late because you're trying to get across here, and you'll be trying to brake all the way in here, and then across, hump the curbs on both sides, and you're back onto the start finish straight. Again, there's plenty of runoff here. I think when I raced here, there were a couple of people crashed at the top of the hill in quite spectacular fashion. A couple of people crashed coming out of there. There was people all over the place, but it have we got the speed limiter on? Right, we'll do a couple of fast laps without killing ourselves. Tyres are extremely cold. You can hump the curves quite hard there, but you will see at speed it makes it even more difficult to spot sometimes where apexes are. If I end up on the grass, you'll know it because it'll take me a day and an age to stop, so you might be feathering the throttle a bit through here. There's a temptation to not go far enough left before you get to the apex, and you actually end up making the corner much tighter than it should be. Going a little bit circumspect due to the fact I've still got fairly cold tyres, although the front is heating up quite quickly. Concentration required. I'm trying not to run out of tarmac or talent. Probably should have changed up a bit earlier there. Whoops. You notice there's quite a lot of runoff outside the track edge lines, which are just painted on the track. So you do have a bit of a safety margin around the sort of camel cob Seagrave part of the lap. I have to change down to try and persuade it to let the front end grip up a bit. The front end's getting very, very toasty on the front left. That's about your limit. I'm not sure how fast we were going here, but that's a tricky little entry into there, right? I have to say, when I raced here, I really struggled getting that right. Ran wide a couple of times and ended up getting close to the edge of the track and thinking, well, this place is quite dodgy, isn't it? Again, there's no real straight braking zones apart from just in that initial part into the final chicane, but even then you still have to drag the brakes through it a bit. as you go into the sort of actual chicane itself. Oh shit, and we run out of talent and space, and will we stop? No. And that is the danger of Thruxton, because frankly once you've crashed here, you've crashed. So yeah, it's a lovely circuit, it's a really nice driver circuit, it's really interesting to try and just get... sounded horrible. Get around it without killing yourself, and you tend to find, because it's so fast, you end up, and it's quite bumpy as well, you'll be up and down and up and down. If you get in a tussle with another car, you're swapping places all the time, and it's a really fun track. It's great just to drive, but I think it should actually have some good racing as well. Lots of... Don't go for anything stupidly high downforce. You want to be racing in things that aren't particularly high downforce. Same with Croft, because they're just so much more fun around there. I mean, anything really high downforce is probably a waste of space around there, because you just flat out everywhere. So go for something like the BTCC cars. There should be monster fun around here, a bit like the old during the Tonka days. So yeah. Two good additions, two great circuits, real classics, well worth it to have a bit of fun around here. You will probably die repeatedly whilst driving around there. I will, I know that. So I will, again, I'll put the replays on so you can get a bit of an idea from sort of various different angles of what they look like as you're going around here like a bat out of hell. But very quick circuit. I think it's actually still the quickest circuit on the mainland, I believe. At one point Snowden was, but then Thruxton was. So yeah, I might be wrong on that, but I think it's still the quickest on the mainland. But yes, but because it's got no straights, it's like mental, but great fun to drive. It will take you a bit of time to get rid of the get your head around the sort of the nuances. There's some slight off cameras. I think Church is slightly, which is the really quick one onto the straight. That's 130 mile an hour plus in one of these, maybe. If you can pin it absolutely right, you should be able to get around here at 130. And like I said, I don't even think I'm running with a lot of rubber build-up. I might even be on light. Let's have a quick look. What was I running? Was I running light? Was I running medium? Light preset. So yeah, not even a lot of rubber down. So yep, couple of great circuits. Well worth buying a pack just for those and the BTCC car actually. Although you can obviously just buy the two tracks that you want, or just buy Thruxton, or just Croft, or both, or your choice, your money, as they say. But for me, for now, that's Croft and Thruxton. I will be back with another one, maybe tomorrow, with Bahrain and the XL London pre-circuit. So that'll be interesting, because I haven't got a clue where that goes. At least I had a rough idea with these ones. So for me for now, enjoy racing, have fun, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Where's my button?